What's up, y'all? Thank you for joining me today. It is a gorgeous day outside. Oh, I'm so happy that this weather is back. I'm sure all you guys are too. But today, what we're going to be doing is detailing the Acura RSX. Main focus is to get this thing looking a little bit better. It already looks pretty good, but we're going to clean up these headlights, probably give it a clay bar and buff, stuff like that, and just give this thing a full detail so it's more appealing to a buyer. Unfortunately, I can't give it a really aggressive buff because there's certain spots in here that just have tiny bits of rust. I'd order a can of touch-up paint, and see, this is the worst spot. I don't know if you can see it because I'm blocking the light there. So just gonna tape over that and make sure that's protected. But right now we actually have to jump start this because, yeah, it's been sitting for a little while. So we're gonna jump start this thing with the Corolla. We also need to we got hella overspray from painting these BBS wheels. We gotta get that figured out. And I'm about to go check the mailbox, and I'm pretty sure we got our new center caps, BBS center caps from Portugal. So I'm gonna compare those to the ones that I have as well. I got two. Hopefully I'll be picking up another set of BBS wheels as well. And I got two caps, so that's nice. So first I'm just gonna jump start the car so we can get this thing running, charging up a little bit, and then we're gonna go check the mail. Okay, so we got it all hooked up. Our charging car running, our daily. So hopefully this thing should start right up, no issues. Kind of wish the sound system worked, even though it's like a Sony, but it's gonna take a second, I think. So yesterday I went to go try to buy a car, and literally I spent time taking wheels off of my 530i because the dude insisted he wanted to keep the wheels on the car. So I drove over there. I drove about an hour or so to get a truck and trailer because my Silverado's not working now. And well, it's not working. I'm doing work on the Silverado. So anyways, drive an hour to get a truck from the U-Haul. Wait 45 minutes at the U-Haul. I'm gonna take the keys out so it stops beeping. I get to the U-Haul. I went in there for 30 minutes because they're busy with some shit. And I get the U-Haul, $150 for a truck and trailer now. Ridiculous. So I get the U-Haul, and then I drive about 40 minutes to go pick up the car. Mind you, I'm texting this person the whole time, messaging them, and everything's good for the most part. They're being a little weird, but like they're acting like they want to do it a later time, do it tomorrow, just that lazy stuff. So I was kind of a little like worried in my stomach. I wasn't gonna get the car. And long story short, I ended up waiting at the dude's house for an hour to get this BMW, and it didn't work out. I'm really pissed off about it because, yeah, I really wanted another car because I'm about to get rid of this RSX, about to get rid of the Audi S4, thinking about getting rid of the E46, even though I don't think I'm gonna get rid of that because those things are just like, they're just about to become sought after. So anyways, this car should be charged up by now. That guy sucks. Don't do that. If you're selling a car, just like, I was sitting in front of the dude's house for an hour. So yeah, at least message people. I was just thinking to myself, like, I'm not that kind of person, and karma does its journey anyways. I'm not going to try to handle stuff myself. But if you really pissed someone off, someone probably could have damaged the car or just done stupid stuff. Just like, don't give someone your address and then stand them up, have them waiting in front of your house for an hour. It's not good. All right, so moment of truth. So overall, this car is looking pretty nice. We obviously have to get the overspray off the tires, get this thing all cleaned up today. Hopefully even have time to do the headlights. I think we will. And yeah, this thing, the paint actually looks really nice. I like how metallic this paint is. Probably can't catch it on camera, but I think it'll look a whole lot better once we get all the contaminants out of the paint with the clay and give this thing just a quick buff over. So yeah, we're just gonna go get our water supplies stuff. We're gonna get our hose out, we're gonna get our pressure washer, and we're gonna go ahead and get to work. Let this thing run for a second so the battery can charge. So we got our pressure washer. Oh, that is a Hornet. Jesus, I do not like, yo, the Hornets around here, they do not mess around. I don't know what they like about the cars, but dang, man, every time I'm working on the cars and it's nice out, they're on me. So our pressure washer, just doing a simple bucket wash with a microfiber mitt. And I know a lot of people hate this, but some chemical guys wash. Actually, the only guys who hate this is detailers. Detailers get all snobby, say they only use a certain products, whatever. It's soap, it washes the car. It's gonna get a clay bar and everything after, so whatever. Only thing left to do right now though is get to work. That's the first step, real simple. All you got to do is pressure wash it. If you have a hose, just try to get up close, get the pressure on it, and get all the dirt that you can off of it. And the next step is we're going to go through with the microfiber and just get everything super soapy. So we finished that step, just soaping up the car, aggravating all the dirt on the car. And so nice out today, so sunny out that it's actually, this whole side is dried. As you can see, there's still soap on most of the rest of the car. For the side I did before, dried up. So no biggie, we did agitate all the dirt, and we're gonna give it another power wash, pressure wash, before we start to clay bar this thing. Okay, so we got the car all washed down. Everything's looking great. See, it has a nice little shine on it. But I mean, there are quite a bit of imperfections in this paint, as to be expected with a car like this. So that's about the first step. This could be your only step, especially if it's just a personal car and you're just doing a quick little weekly maintenance, whatever. But furthermore, what we're going to be doing right now is grabbing a bottle full of soapy water, like soapy-ish water, not like real soapy. Just put a little bit of soap in the water to give it some lubrication. And we have a giant clay bar. We're going to rip off a chunk about that big. We're going to go over this whole car. We're going to spray down the panel, and we're going to just like lightly kind of, I guess, wash it down just like we were with the mitt. Just give it a little bit of pressure, not too much, and just kind of wipe it down. Try not to do too many swirls, or I mean, I guess you can, because it's going to be buffed, but it will add a little bit of swirling to your paint. So try to do it in like more straight kind of panels like this. So that's what we're going to be doing. We just need to grab a bottle, like a spray bottle, and get that all set up, and we're going to get started on the clay barring. What we got here is our soap, just that we use to clean the car, a bottle of water, and most importantly, our clay bar. Keep it in the package just to keep it more clean. So what we're gonna do is just take this and just dip this in here, and that's more than enough. And we're gonna shake that up, and this is gonna be our soapy water. That's nice and soapy now. This will give us perfect lubrication to glide over the panels with the clay and not actually like damage the paint or anything like that. Most important parts to focus on with clay bar usually are the front end of the car where all the bugs and stuff sit, and also the side skirts down here. Definitely want to focus on those areas. We're just going to go over it with the clay bar and just take out any of the contaminants that we can. So, just get a closer look at what I'm doing here. Did the whole side right here. I did get a whole lot of contaminants out. Super happy I'm doing this with this car. I'm going to do the top pillar in a second, but I did all down the door, and you can't really tell right now. It is going to look a little better than it did after the wash too. It's going to look more shiny. Paint's going to look newer. But it has a whole lot of soapy water and clay just all over it, so it does look really dull right now, but we are going to go through and give it a nice wash after, like a second wash. So what I'm doing is just getting the panel just about a spray's width. You don't want to work with too much of a panel because you'll get lost, so just get it real wet and then kind of knead out your clay. Flatten it just a tad bit, and then just go through and very strategically go around the car so you don't miss any spaces. If you see, like, you can kind of see there's suds right here, and then it's kind of just swishy, so that's how you can tell where you already were. But just go over all of that. Try to go kind of quickly, not quickly, but in a timely manner, because this stuff will dry out. Just go over it, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's pulling out a whole bunch of dirt and stuff like that, just contaminants, bug wings and all that crap out of the paint, and it's sticking it in here. And you just want to knead that in and flop it over so you have kind of a nice blue clear surface to work with when you go back in and just do the whole panel. So I'm going to finish the rest of the car, and then we're going to give it a nice spray down, and then we'll be able to buff it. So I wet sanded this whole thing for about 2 hours. Definitely takes a whole lot of time to wet sand, but it is really worth it. Especially it's not really like a weekly maintenance, maybe monthly if you're really that anal, I guess. More like a 3-month thing, and you just want to go over the whole car, every single inch of the car, and that's going to take out so many contaminants that you didn't know were in your paint. It's going to shine your paint up a whole lot more. Just going to take a whole lot of stuff out of your paint that you don't want there. So we finally got it all dried down. Everything's looking amazing. You can see the paint, it's looking a whole lot cleaner. It's looking great overall. So it's another beautiful day out, and I don't think I'll have too much time to buff the car today, unfortunately, but there is one thing I think I can do right now. I have about like an hour or so that I can work on the car, just family stuff today. Honestly, car stuff should be behind family stuff, so yeah. We're gonna have some fun today. I get to see my nephew. He was born like, I think it's 5 weeks at this point, so little baby. But anyways, we're going to try to take off this little trim piece on both sides today, because I don't really like how that looks. It's definitely like off-putting, especially like the whole car looks fairly clean besides that. So we're going to address that. I think it's really easy to take that out anyways, and most of it's already gone, so we can just sand it down real quick and throw some black paint on it, and that'll look a whole lot better. So I think the only thing we have to do is pop out the mirror and just pull this out. So let's see what we got to do with that. Just pop that out, and we have a couple, looks like 8mm bolts. And I'm going to also real quick. I'm gonna put some tape on the door right here because this mirror is gonna come down and I really don't want that scratching the paint. Okay, so we have both sides taped off. The other side's taped off, just identical to this, just to protect the paint when this thing drops down a little bit. I'm also gonna kind of guide it down. I'm not gonna let it just flop down. And we have a 10 mil on a screwdriver because it's not an 8 mil. So we're just gonna, I'm gonna put this up so this thing doesn't drop. Take these bolts out real quick. One of them is a 10 mil and the rest are 8 mil, so I do need an 8 mil. Okay, so we got those bolts out, those couple bolts, and now, like, it didn't drop too far, which is nice. This is kind of hanging a tad bit, but at this point, I think we can just shimmy this out of the way a little bit. We hold this up. We can just pull this right up. So yeah, it popped out super easy. It was kind of just a two-hand job, I guess. So you just want to like pull up here, start here, and just pull up, kind of tilt it back and pull up a little bit, and then it should all just kind of pop up. Just these little clamps holding it in. So now that I have these off, I'm just going to kind of shave off the rest of this. Like, it's kind of a rubber material, and a razor blade is good for that. Try not to gouge into the metal, but there's going to be a couple scratches and we're going to take that out with just a quick sanding after. So the razor blade made good work of that. Got it all off basically. So here's a little after. I guess I should have done the before first. Like, it's all off, all shiny. I'm not going for a chrome look. That would look terrible, honestly, in my opinion. Some people may like that, so I'm going to paint this black. And here's what they look like before. See? All this I got a lot off of the pressure washer yesterday. But you see how it's like chipping. It's black, and yeah. So we're just going to get the rest of this off with a razor blade. And then we're going to hit it with a quick little sand down, and pretty sure we have some black paint somewhere. I gotta have some black paint somewhere, so yeah. So I'm excitedly waiting for my new car to come be delivered. So go check that out. Super excited about that. That's like a dream car basically. So checking that off the list. So we have our flat black primer and we have some satin black paint, and we just taped off basically everything but the silver part. And real quick, I do have to grab some degreaser, or not, well, pretty much degreaser. I have to grab some wax and grease remover and just wipe this down real quick, and then we're going to get to spraying. So that's 3 coats of the satin black, and it looks a little glossy right now, but it's going to dry satin, look a lot like the OEM finish on that. Unfortunately, the OEM has like a rubber finish to it, so that may keep a little bit more water out. This may let a little bit more in, but it looks a whole lot more clean, and the other stuff was just chipping off anyways. So you can hardly see them with the tape around them, but they look pretty nice. So yeah, it certainly does look a whole lot better than before. You don't see very many RSXs with a full black weather stripping, whatever you want to call it. So just going to go ahead and install the other side and we should be good. We've done everything to the exterior except for polishing, buffing, and I'm really liking how after we painted this black, it's just kind of matching everything to a nice black, clean OEM look. I mean, it doesn't look extremely well, like a foot away, but I mean, I kind of rushed the paint. I don't know why. I just feel like getting rid of this car, but it doesn't look that bad. Looks better than 90% of the RSXs on the road. So we have this one last thing to do other than the buffing, and that's to clean off this overspray, which kind of did it to myself. So we're just going to jack up the car one by one and we're going to take those off and yeah, I guess clean them with some acetone. It's the easiest thing to do. Okay, so our next step today, unfortunately, we have the background noise of our neighbors using a weed whacker, but we got to work with that today. But our next step is going to be getting these headlights a little sanded down and ready to be hit with a buffer, because we're going to buff the whole car and I want to just buff the headlights as I buff the car. So I got my 1000, 1500, 2000, 2500 pack. You can get this at Walmart or anything like that. It's only a couple bucks. It's pretty good. It's meant for headlights mostly, or just like finishing, and just some soapy water, because you just want to have a little bit of lubrication so you don't get too deep into the plastic, because it is plastic. You will gouge into it, and plastic is less forgiving than metal. So I've sanded out the headlights and gave the whole thing a good wash over, and now I can buff the whole car out, and that should be the last step for the outside of the car. I think I'm going to do this in a two-part series. This is going to be that exterior detail, and then I'll do the interior detail in another video, because it's going to be like a 30-minute video. So we got the wheels cleaned off, or not the wheels, but the tires. We're probably going to do another coat and some clear coat on the wheels, but got all that overspray off. So things are looking awesome, real awesome so far. I do think that my family's coming over in about an hour, maybe less. I'm going to start a little bit of interior detailing. I am going to take a little break for a little while. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to come back and we're going to polish this thing, and that should be it for the exterior. We just gave the car just like a quick wash over because it's been a day or two. Yeah, we got basically everything set up finally. We got, if I can find it, I don't know where that thing went. It's a new MR2 we just picked up. Go watch that video. So finally got a bonnet so we could buff this whole car, and that's what we're gonna do. We're also gonna buff the headlights as well, and that should be the final step to the exterior. We've clay barred the exterior, giving it a nice good wash before and after. Yeah, multiple washes, and last step to do is finally just buff the entire car, so the scratches, the swirls, all that stuff is out, and it will clear up those headlights very nicely. So we're just about wrapping up the polish on the exterior. We're still gonna have to give things a good wash, and then I'll pull things out so we can see how everything looks after exterior wash. But I just wanted to show you how these headlights look after a good, I mean, this is a pretty quick restoration. So that's like after the polish. I know they look super hazy before this, but that's after I polished. I sanded with from 1000, I think, or 1500 up to 2500. So I think it's 15 to 2500. So this is the outcome after a good polish. On the right side we have that, and this is just after sanding and no polish. So polishing is definitely the kind of cherry on the top with these headlights, and kind of the overall car, because I mean, as you can see, we did get a really good finish on these headlights. Could be a little bit clearer, but I think most of the stuff right now is like there's still some cut this stuff. This is what I use to do the whole car. Some 3D cutting compound. So I think there's still a little bit on the headlights that give it a tiny bit of a hazy look. So we got it all washed down. Everything's looking real nice. Headlights all cleared up. Looking great. Still a little tiny bit hazy, but what can you do? They aren't brand new lenses. So yeah, it's looking real nice. Looking like it's basically ready for sale. Stay tuned for part 2, and we're going to show you how we can do the interior. This car, as you can see, super messy inside. Also smells like crackhead, basically. So yeah, we're going to make this car smell a whole lot better and look a whole lot better inside as well. So thank you for joining me, and peace.
Beat going crazy.